Tattoos are on the rise whether you like it or not. Seems like everyone these days has tattoos. Did you know that Post Malone has tattoos? I didn't. Studies suggest that in Australia, 43% of people have at least one tattoo, and in the US, it is 46%. Although there is a lot of discrepancy, with some studies suggesting that it's closer to 25%. Now, I'm no expert in mathematics, but I'm pretty sure that is more than one person. Here's another statistic for you. Of those that get tattooed, 1 in 4 people regret at least one tattoo they've got, and almost half of those people get their tattoo removed or covered up. If I regretted a tattoo, laser removal would be my first choice. But one thing to know about laser tattoo removal is that it is expensive. And I mean, to be fair, evil villains do spend millions of dollars designing lasers to destroy things. So why would a laser that's designed specifically just to destroy tattoos be any different? So because of how expensive laser tattoo removal is, a lot of people are left with the alternative, getting their tattoo covered up with another tattoo. And this is no easy feat. It takes an expert artist, a smart design, and a lot of ink to make the old tattoo disappear without just blasting over the entire thing with solid black. But that can also be expensive. So a lot of people are resorting to the alternative to the alternative. TikTok tattoo artists and their $160 cover-ups. All cover-ups $160. What's the worst that could happen? I've actually made a video on this artist before, and I thought that would be the end of it. But recently, she's seen what I can only describe as a renaissance for her videos, popping up once again on my feed, and I felt compelled to make another video talking about this. And look, I'm not a tattoo artist, so take my opinion on these tattoos with a grain of salt, but that's why I brought in a real tattoo artist today, an expert to help us evaluate these tattoos and get a real professional's opinion. Unfortunately, he cannot be in the office with us today because he is in the middle of filming a brand new season of Ink Master. But regardless of that, I would like to welcome you through the power of the internet, Ink Master contestant and fan favorite, Hot Rod Mickey. Thank you so much for joining.
Honestly, thanks for having me.
And before we get right into it, I would just like to once again give a disclaimer. Do I feel horrible for these clients? Yes, but if they're happy with the work that they received, then I'm happy. That's great. That's great news. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Some people just really hate their tattoos, and maybe they hate what they used to represent, and maybe that tattoo isn't something they want on their body on display anymore, and it doesn't really matter what covers it up as long as it's covered up. I get it. When a tattoo artist has hundreds of videos on their page showing how bad of a tattoo artist they are, and you still decide to go to them, some of that responsibility is on you. Another argument to be made is that maybe they just didn't know what makes a good tattoo and what makes a bad tattoo, and the few examples that they looked at were good enough and they thought, you know what, they look like they do a pretty good job, and it's pretty cheap. And to that, I say, fair enough. Mistakes happen. That's why it's so important to do your research before you put something on your body permanently. Does this exempt the artist from any responsibility? No, I don't think it's very controversial to say it's pretty fucked up giving people bad tattoos knowing they're bad and then still continuing to give more bad tattoos. And her reason for rushing tattoos is fucking insane, but we'll get into that later. I think to a degree she has good intentions, but her execution is far from flawless. Now let's get into it. Our first $160 cover-up starts with this tattoo, Faith Over Fear. Oh, and I forgot to mention, every single one of these tattoos is actually a blindfolded tattoo.
A blindfold tattoo is where the artist places a blindfold over the canvas and then tattoos the canvas without them knowing what they're getting. If this is what she's doing, this is totally unethical.
She usually asks for a few topics of like things that they like or want in the tattoo, and then she just kind of does whatever she wants without the client knowing until the end result.
Whoa, hang on a second. Editing note here. I didn't know this at the time, but her tattoo studio is actually called Blindfold Tattoos. Hence, why every single tattoo is blindfolded, which, if you're really bad at tattooing, is an absolute genius business idea. So it explains so much, but that gives you a lot more context as to how any of these tattoos even happen in the first place. Anyway, back to the video.
The reason the client wants this tattoo covered up is because she says she just doesn't really like it anymore.
I just don't like the way it looks. You know how over time things change?
She still believes in the quote, and she'll probably get it tattooed somewhere else on her body, but she just doesn't want it on her neck anymore.
The neck is one of the toughest places to tattoo. It's on the neck, which is designed to bend. If this canvas can't sit still, this artist may as well be packing her bag.
It's quite a large quote. It's on her neck in one of the most visible areas of the body. You know, you can't really cover it up unless you want to wear turtlenecks and scarves for the rest of your life. So what do you think she's going to get it covered up with? Maybe like a giant cross, maybe like a bullseye, maybe a giant black square. Whatever you thought it was going to get covered up with, you are sorely mistaken. Okay, I can already tell you have no idea.
We're done.
Holy s***.
Yeah, a cupcake. A giant cupcake on the side of her neck for the rest of her life. Look, not exactly what I would have chosen. It's not exactly the most vibrant tattoo. I couldn't also help but notice that star at the top is definitely a freehand. I'm not surprised at all. When you see how small the original tattoo was in comparison to this, it just raises so many questions like, why? Why did you decide to go so big with the cover-up? I mean, it's literally sitting under her earlobe now. Let's see how the client reacts to this tattoo. I'm sure she's ecstatic.
Down there.
Right
yep.
here?
Mm-hmm. Let's see what I went with.
They cover up or multiple?
Oh my god.
I can just tell from that reaction she was completely over the moon. Dare I say she was almost speechless. What made her choose to put cupcake on the side of this person's neck? This reminds me of like an episode of Pimp My Ride where she probably just said that she liked cupcakes in passing, or maybe she had a cupcake in her hand and she was like, I couldn't help but notice you're holding a cupcake. You like those? Huh? What? Oh, this? Oh, I just picked this up on the way here. I don't know, I was just feeling a little bit hungry. I just decided to grab a snack. I guess it wouldn't be a stretch to say you love cupcakes. No, just something I picked up on the way. No, definitely just a coincidence. Huh. Loves cupcakes. No, I definitely didn't say that. I think I have an idea of what we can tattoo on you today. Like all of these tattoos, I feel just really horrible for the client. I mean, this tattoo is now so big that if you wanted to get it covered up again, you couldn't. It's massive, man. I don't know what you could do. I don't even know if an expert like Hot Rod Mickey could cover this thing up.
Is he freaking serious right now? I've been tattooing for the last 15 years. This cover-up would be a walk in the freaking park. If he wants to diss me like that, I'll design a cover-up for every single one of these tattoos. For this one, I decided to keep the theme of faith and fear, so I drew a Christian ghost with purple and green flames. Overall, I think the design is clean, and that the canvas is gonna love it.
This next tattoo is a $100 blindfolded tattoo, and the client has no idea what the subject is even going to be. The client's friend has actually given this tattoo artist some topics and themes that she could tattoo, so she has no idea at all what it could be. I'll give you guys a hint as to what she's going to get tattooed. It's Harry Potter related.
Harry Potter seriously might have been one of the best things that ever happened to tattoo. When those last 2 movies came out, I must have been tattooing Deathly Hallows symbols every single day for the next 3 years. And then when she got canceled, I got to tattoo over those tattoos with new tattoos. Harry Potter put my kid through college.
She decided to tattoo the ugliest fucking character in the entire Harry Potter series, Dobby. Yeah, Dobby getting tattooed. That's like saying, I love the Lord of the Rings, and someone goes, all right, bet. And instead of tattooing literally anything, a Balrog, Gandalf, the ring itself, I don't know, the Eye of Sauron. No, let's tattoo Gollum on you. Yeah, let's have Smeagol, the little gremlin, tattooed. Why does this Dobby look like he's had a little bit of work done? A little bit of magical filler. This dude's got eyelashes and some big supple lips.
Master's given Dobby a $500 voucher to get a makeover. Dobby is free.
The client themselves had a good laugh and seems to be pretty happy with the tattoo. So again, that's all that matters. I mean, it's a pretty funny tattoo. Is it something I would get personally? Probably not. But if it was something that was slapped on me, it's kind of a funny conversation starter at least. So I'm not the most mad at this one, to be honest.
For this one, I decided to make Dobby a freaking baddie. Dobby, more like mommy. Don't tell my wife I said that.
Keeping with the theme of tattoos on the neck, this next client isn't going for a cover-up, but they are asking for a spider and a spider web covering their entire neck. This is a pretty important place on the body, and it is something that is on display all the time, so you really don't want to mess it up. It is also one of the most painful places to get tattooed, so you only want to go through this experience once. So you'd hope you don't have to get the tattoo that you get on your neck covered up. You really hope you don't. The whole video is basically this artist just freehand and web in there left, right, and center.
Freehanding is no freaking joke. Freehanding is when you tattoo a canvas without following a stencil. You have got to know what you're doing, because one wrong move and you could jack up the whole thing.
And look, to be fair, a spider's web is not always a symmetrical, beautiful piece of art, But what we end up getting left with on this tattoo here is a web that not even Charlotte could fix. Did she forget how many legs a spider is supposed to have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10 legs.
Spiders are a part of the arachnid family, which can be easily identified by their key characteristic, 8 legs. Did she think they were part of the decapod family? If I did that, the judges would be eating me alive. just like some spiders do after they mate.
So look, not off to a great start. And then just taking a look at the web itself, can you tell this is free-handed? You can clearly see that there was no thought or plan going into this at all. I would be so upset if this is a tattoo that I got.
Honestly, to cover this up, I had to pull out every trick in the book. Keeping with the extreme subject matter, my design is a monster's mouth on her freaking neck. And by using the web as a guide for scales, I think I really pulled this off.
This next tattoo is a tattoo trade, which is something this artist does where the client doesn't actually pay them. They just trade some random stuff they have and they get a tattoo out of it. In this case, the client traded 3 mountain bikes for a tattoo of a dragon. The dragon isn't the part I'm most concerned about in this tattoo here. It's the fact that she won't stop dragging her cord over the open wound that is the tattoo. Buddy, the most important part about getting a tattoo is not the tattoo itself, but being sanitary about it.
Being sanitary is the most important part about tattooing, other than doing a killer design. When the needle goes in, you're literally creating an open wound, and if your machine isn't properly covered up, you could be spreading bacteria right into that thing. If that tattoo gets infected, she's pretty much done for.
As for the tattoo itself, the dragon would be kind of cool if its scales were just put in with a little bit of care at all. As with all these tattoos, the line work is so bad. I feel so horrible for this client. These tattoos, they're always like pretty good from afar. Like if you're squinting, you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of good. And then as soon as you actually look at the detail of the tattoo, you go, ooh, oh my God.
For this cover up, I decided to go with the dragon of the sea, the seahorse. This tattoo is absolutely full of attitude, and with the color just packed in there, there's no way that this canvas is going home unhappy.
This next tattoo is a $100 Taylor Swift inspired tattoo. No, it's not a portrait of Taylor Swift. I can only imagine that would be horrific. It is actually a champagne bottle referencing Taylor Swift's famous song, Champagne Problems. And immediately looking at this tattoo in its full glory, I couldn't help but notice that, oh boy, champagne is not spelt like that.
Has this artist ever heard a spell check? What the hell is champagne?
And once again, this tattoo is massive. It takes up this person's whole arm. What a great question in the comments here too. Why is the cork exploding instead of the foam? I didn't even notice that until it was pointed out to me. That is crazy.
Champagne is often used in celebration, and shower only makes me think of one thing: a baby shower. That's why I decided to go with a giant pregnant bowling pin. With a tattoo like this, I think I just bowled a strike.
One thing this artist loves to do is brag about how quick she is at putting tattoos on people's bodies. Like with this tattoo that only took 2 hours, and it is a full back piece.
Back pieces are one of the hardest things to do with a tattoo art. You've got skin, then you've got muscles under the skin, then you've got bones under that. There's no way that you could pull clean lines in 2 hours.
Which, if you know anything about tattooing at all, usually takes a lot of time. So this is really impressive, except, oh my God, what the hell happened to Hogwarts? What is that?
Oh, that makes sense. She didn't.
Honestly, when I first read that it only took 2 hours, I wasn't surprised at all. Yeah, no, I'm not shocked. This looks like it took only 2 hours. Look at the building at the top. Look, those little spires aren't even lined up, and the windows. There's 2 windows on the left side down the bottom, and then there's 1 window on the right side.
This tattoo is big, so I knew I had to go bigger. That's why I went with a giant skull. There's black, there's gray, there's slightly darker gray. This tattoo really has it all.
Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, just like I was, why is she always rushing her tattoos? If she just took a little bit of time, her tattoos would look so much better. Well, she made a video giving an explanation as to why that is.
Don't rush the tattoo. I get it. Tattoos shouldn't be rushed, and I totally understand that. So, set your appointment at any regular tattoo shop and get your tattoo where they're gonna take their sweet ass time and charge $800, and you're gonna have to spend the entire day at their shop. But at my tattoo shop, it is called blindfold tattoos for a reason. My poor clients, I don't think that you really expect them to stay under their blindfold for like 4 hours, not knowing what they're getting while they're going through all this pain. I'm sorry, but my client's not gonna wanna sit in pain under a blindfold tattoo for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they also don't want a bad tattoo at the end of it. I think any sane person would rather sit an extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for a tattoo if it means the tattoo that's going to be on them for the rest of their lives isn't shit. I don't know. Just some food for thought there.
Also, if your reasoning for rushing tattoos is you don't want them sitting under a blindfold for 4-5 hours, don't blindfold them then. Oh my God, is that a crazy concept? Sorry, I'm editing this video and I can't believe I didn't say it in the recording, don't blindfold them. Is that crazy?
I know when my client starts to feel uncomfortable. They start getting a little squirmy, and they start to squirm like a worm. I just know that they are so ready for me to say, all right, girlfriend, we're done.
So basically, her explanation here is that the client gets a little bit uncomfortable after a few hours of tattooing. The thing where you have a needle repeatedly stabbed into your body. And so to be kind to them, she just rushes the tattoo so they can be in and out as quick as possible. Yeah, that's the dumbest reasoning I've ever heard for tattooing, I'll be completely honest. Look, I get it. Tattoos are painful. Like, I'm not saying that they aren't. But would you really rather spend 2 hours less in a chair to have a really rushed tattoo on your body for the rest of your life? I don't know. I feel like that's such a terrible trade-off. But hey, I'm not the one making these decisions. I'm sure a lot of these people have their own reasons as to why they've chosen to do this. So if that's what they want to do, hey, fair enough. All the power to them. It's just not something I personally would do.
I didn't say this in the video, but it is very clear that she is just using that as an excuse to get more money and more clients, just get people in and out of that chair as quick as possible. And she's just using the logic of like, no, I really actually care about my clients. That's why I get them in and out as quick as possible, because I actually care about them, because I don't want them to be in pain. They're getting a tattoo. Okay? If you cared about your clients, you wouldn't be putting really bad tattoos on them and knowing their shit and admitting to rushing tattoos just to get them in and out. Okay? All right, let's be real for a second here.
It's crazy. One of the reasons she uses for defending why she rushes her tattoos so much is like, hey, yeah, if you want to book in with a tattoo artist and spend the whole day there and have them take their sweet ass time tattooing you, be my guest. But me, I like to get clients in and out as quick as fucking possible. I like to get my clients in and out of the chair as quick as possible. Doesn't matter what they want. I can do anything in 2 hours. Get them in, get them out. Hey, call me controversial, but yeah, I actually would like my tattoo artist to take their sweet ass time. I don't think people understand this stuff is on you forever. That's like until you die.
Is this guy freaking serious right now? If you take your time with a tattoo, your clients will never come back for a cover-up. Does this guy know a freaking thing about the tattoo business?
This next tattoo is a cover-up. It's a $160 blindfold cover-up, and the subject is Disney and Snow White. The client also requests that they fix the tattoo on the top of their hand, which is like a bee or a wasp, or I can see why she wants to get it fixed. What do you think she's going to get tattooed? Do you think it's going to be Snow White? Do you think it's going to be like a big old apple? Do you think it's going to be like all of the 7 dwarfs like on the whole sleeve? Yeah, it's the witch. I feel like I'm sensing a theme here, you know, choosing a topic and then picking the ugliest character out of that entire universe and tattooing that on somebody's body. I almost feel like this is a little bit personal at this point. In all seriousness, I do see the logic in why she chose the witch. She has dark robes, which opens up a lot of opportunity to just blast over tattoos with black. So I get it. Look, I get it.
She also covered up the bee by blasting over it with a second apple. Let's go. 2 apples, 1 sleeve. Or however that saying goes.
I also couldn't help but notice that a lot of the pickaxe is actually colored outside of the lines. So maybe that's shading. Maybe that's a artistic, creative liberty that has been taken there. I don't know. I'm not a tattoo artist. All in all, once again, not an ideal tattoo, but to give credit where credit is due, she had a lot of tattoos on her sleeve that she wanted covered up. So, I mean, what can you really do?
Honestly, there's absolutely nothing I can do for this. My best suggestion would be to get tattoo laser removal, but if you really want me to cover this up, the best I can do is just blacken it out. I'm sorry, but some things not even Hot Rod Mickey can fix.
As you saw at the start of the video, this is now an educational channel. So what have we learnt? If there's one thing that you can take away from this video, it's that you have to do your research on your artist before you get a tattoo. This stuff is permanent. And like most things in life, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. You definitely get what you pay for, especially when it comes to things like tattoos. Big thanks to Hot Rod Mickey for taking the time out to be a part of this video. Really appreciate it.
So am I getting paid for this?
Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Leave a comment of a little cupcake if you made it this far. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.